weekend of baseball, an exciting weekend here. Welcome to Sports Talk for You. I'm Aaron Bell. I'm here with my buddy Adam Parker. We
Hello.
are here to talk opening day of Major League Baseball and opening weekend. Surprisingly, no undefeated teams after tonight. All teams now have at least one loss. Of course, my Kansas City Royals, who strike out 40 times in one weekend, have two losses. Some other big news, Corey Kluber taken off the mound in the first inning with arm tightness, and Justin Verlander hurt, possibly out for the year. Of course, he tweeted saying, no, that's not going to happen. I'm going to come back. Who knows? We will see. And really, there hasn't really been any other injuries. So first weekend of baseball has been pretty exciting, especially with no undefeated teams and the surprise teams. I called one of them, Colorado Rockies. 2-1, took down Texas twice. Of course, Texas isn't that big of a powerhouse, but I do got to say the number one surprise team is probably the Miami Marlins.
Yes, most definitely. I did not see that one coming.
No, I did not expect them to put up the runs they did against the Phillies.
Yeah, because the Phillies are supposed to be in it,
Yes.
you know, with Girardi and Didi Gregorius signing with them, as well as, there was another Yankee. He's a short guy, long last name, but I forget who it was. But anyway, yeah, most definitely Miami, big surprise there.
Now, let's not forget about the Baltimore Orioles. I mean,
That is true.
Them to go into Boston and take 2 out of 3.
Yeah, which is really shocking to me.
I watched that game today, and that was it was kind of scary for the Orioles because they were up 6-1, and then Boston came right back with 6-4, and then Orioles bullpen held on. So maybe this is a sign that the bullpen's not trashy like it was last year, because we know how bad that bullpen was for the Orioles.
Yeah, as well as the hitting was atrocious last year as well.
Now, Orioles and Marlins go 3 games this week, starting tomorrow. So we'll see which team's going to be the surprise team and which team just had a fluke weekend, I guess, right?
Right.
So,
although, it'll be interesting. I would not be shocked if 2 out of those 3 games go into extra innings.
Can we get to the point where Pittsburgh's head coach, I can't remember what his last name is, but the argument today got kicked out of the game. And I kid you not, this was like a Twitter argument because he had to come out, put his mask on, umpire took his mask off, and then, he has to put his COVID mask on, and then they're standing 6 feet apart pointing at each other. I mean, this is what we're to now, and it feels like a video game. I mean, 6 feet apart, you're wearing masks, yelling at each other. And then the coach took his mask off, and then he forgot, oops, I better have my mask on, so he puts his mask back on. I'm just
Did he throw
baseball.
Did he throw dirt 6 feet away or anything?
No, he did not do that.
Hey, I think, I haven't seen the video of it, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure I'll be laughing at it. But could you imagine if it was a robotic umpire?
Yeah.
I think that would be really, really.
Can I say I wish the Royals had a robotic umpire on Friday night? That umpire was – I thought it was Angel Hernandez behind the plate until I realized he was in the Washington-New York series. So
yeah, it's interesting because this baseball start this weekend has seen everything per se. You've seen extra innings, you've seen a rain out, and anyway, it's just been kind of fun, and it all got kicked off with one of the worst first pitches.
Dr. Fauci.
I mean, you could tell. I mean, I felt like after he threw it, he thought the ball should be social distancing from the plate.
Would you say that was worse than 50 Cent's first pitch?
No. Was it?
It was pretty close.
Yeah.
But they both went in the same trajectory. Let's just say that.
Wow, that's quite a feat. But it's been great to have baseball back, and I wish it was more than 60 games, but you know what? I'll take 60 games.
Now, here's my thing. Is it surprising? Are we surprised about the Padres starting off 2-1?
No. No.
I mean, they got the weapons. They got Hosmer, Machado, Matt Kemp. I mean, they got the offensive guys.
Yeah, they do. And
I believe they still have James Shields, if I'm correct.
right, I think they do. I'm pretty sure they do.
We all know
Maybe
how he
not.
does in the postseason.
Right.
So,
But no, the Padres are good. I see them making a run. Um, it's interesting. I thought the Giants, to an extent, played the Dodgers tough, but the Dodgers have too much firepower. I mean, I was shocked they got one out of the 3 games, but that Dodger team is quite scary because they could turn it on whenever the heck they want.
yes,
So
coming up tomorrow, Yankees visit their old nemesis, Joe Girardi, who could not win a championship with them. I guess took them to one, but
yeah,
couldn't
he
get
got one.
that.
He got one,
But
2009, I believe.
so we'll
Yeah,
see
he
how he
got
does
one.
against his former team.
Yeah, it'll be the battle of the analytics. You know, it'll be interesting.
As long as Aaron Boone's not calling the umpire savages, we're good.
That's right.
Uh, your most disappointing team? Well, we got to go Boston Red Sox so far. I mean, the fact that you come out and give up 7, 8 runs a game to a team like Baltimore, whose offense is a lot of rookies. I mean, is that trouble for Boston's pitching? I believe so. I
Yeah,
mean,
is
they can't
Chris
score
Sale
anymore. No,
is Chris Sale even pitching this season? I know he's
I believe he's still hurt, if I remember right.
yeah, he got Tommy John surgery
Yeah, so he's
for
not pitching. David Price is gone. He's with the Dodgers.
which is fine because I didn't think Price. It was either Price was on the DL or actually pitched 2 or 3 games, and typically were
Yeah,
atrocious anyway. But yeah, Boston's in an interesting spot. You lose Mookie Betts, one of your best hitters. Not to mention, you lose Chris Sale. So it'll be interesting to see how they do.
yeah,
So, but yeah, I guess the Padres, real quick. I guess it was interesting. I thought that they would lose the opening night because Madison Bumgarner was
yes. I was
pitching
surprised to
for
see that they.
Arizona.
Yes,
Yep,
that's who
and
picked Arizona to win, but came back Padres.
yep. So it's interesting because Bumgarner. I'm shocked the Giants got rid of him, but at the same time, I guess they really wanted to rebuild. But who knows, a rebuild could actually do something because you know what? They're such underdogs. I think they had, what was it? Didn't they have the worst record in the MLB last year, or at least it was up there?
Giants. It
Yeah,
was
the Giants.
close to it. I think Baltimore. Baltimore beat them.
Well,
Baltimore
okay.
beat everybody. No, Detroit. Sorry, it was Detroit
Oh, the Tigers.
because Tigers got number one
So,
overall.
and
And
then
Baltimore got two.
Baltimore, and then I think it was the
Giants and the
Giants.
Royals got 4 overall.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting because you know what? When you have a 60-game season, anything's possible. And I feel like their new manager, Kipnis, this is the Giants, who's like, no one is expecting us to win, so let's just go out and compete and see what happens. And you know what? Anything can happen. I mean, the Marlins are 2-1, so anything can happen.
Anything. I'm just
So
surprised nobody went undefeated because I can't remember the last time we didn't have an undefeated team after the first weekend of the season.
yeah, I don't know either. I'd have to look that one up, but
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
maybe it's a sign that these 60 games, it's gonna be a battle.
Yep. Oh, it's going to be a battle because you can't afford, especially the bigger teams, you can't afford to really take a night off per se,
Well,
you
now
know?
a lot of players are getting COVID because Hunter Dozier got it for the Royals right before Friday night, which hurt their lineup. Ryan
Mhm.
O'Hearn's still battling. He's coming next week. He'll be off the 14-day quarantine. And
Right.
then I don't know if it was the Nationals or somebody had a late scratch because their pitcher got the
Now,
coronavirus.
oh, was it the pitcher?
Yes.
I know the Nationals, was it Soto?
That
who
was
got it
yeah, that was
first game.
Thursday, but this weekend it was today. Somebody had to scratch their pitcher because he got tested positive. So
Oh,
it's just
that's
going to
sad.
be a matter of who gets it and who doesn't.
Right.
I mean, you're going to see a lot of rookies this year, these 60 games, because veterans are going to be tested positive probably.
Right.
And who knows? Maybe the
But
Astros are going to make the other teams test positive on purpose and cheat on their test. You know, they banged on trash cans. Why can't they cheat with this virus?
I know, right? Hey, anything's possible. You know, never thought you could use trash cans
Yeah. I'm
to
surprised they're
cheat.
not 3-0 after this weekend. Maybe they're not cheating after all. Who knows?
No, I think they still are.
Rob Manfred.
Any win that they get, you have to look into. Sorry,
Exactly.
but I want to know how many bean balls have the Astros gotten.
I have not looked that up yet, so I don't know that answer. Can't tell you.
Okay.
Now, can we just get to Fox Sports putting video game fans in the stands? I mean, that that was kind of crazy to me, but it was kind of exciting at the same time.
Yeah. Well, it gives an interesting perspective. You know, it's either cardboard cutouts, teddy bears, or
I was going to
you
say,
know,
I saw the Angels player jump on the wall in right field and end up being elephants and teddy bears, and a cut out of a 1930s milkman or something. I don't know. Um,
yeah, it's quite interesting seeing what they do. Now, what's even crazier is at Wrigley Field. Well, just outside of the stadium is like apartments or condos, and you get to watch it from the rooftop. And it's very interesting seeing just, no fans. Then all of a sudden in the background in the outfield, you just see fans just moving,
yes.
on the building. You're like, wait, oh, yeah, no, that's outside. But no, lucky, you know what? Lucky them, you know, because even in Washington, the Nationals showed there was a condo right outside the stadium, and they had some well, quote unquote, good seats to see stuff. So
Yeah.
it's not like you can't. So, boy, can you imagine the quote unquote ticket price
Oh,
for how much money on the side to allow some fans to see it from up in those condos?
it
I
would
don't know.
be,
I'd be
yeah.
scalping some.
Well, because then you got, isn't it Camden Yards when Baltimore goes back home? I think those are apartments out there in right field, aren't they?
I think so.
We can
I
just
think
watch
so.
them.
I'd have to look it up.
So, but yeah, that was interesting. So,
Yeah, typically people would be like asking for like oceanfront property or some sort of view. I guess now people would be like, can we have ballpark view? You know,
yeah.
when they look for a new condo or whatever. So,
Another
but
name,
you know what? You want to know what else was interesting besides the MLB this week was the Seattle
Jamal Adams.
city of Seattle
Oh,
getting
yeah.
the number
Kraken.
one safety. Yeah, well, first we'll talk
Seattle
about
Kraken's
the
hockey.
Seahawks. You want to talk about the hockey team or the Seahawks
I want to talk
first?
about Jamal Adams because I did not see that coming.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that one coming. Typically, people were saying he'd either become a cowboy
Well, I believe he
or
wanted to go to the Cowboys.
right, he
What he
did,
said.
and said he would sign for a discount too, had he went to the Cowboys. But I didn't really see Seattle making the move. They always have a decent defense,
So,
as
well,
much
apparently
as
they'd
we
rather
want it.
spend money on the defense than the offensive line to protect their quarterback.
Right. And you know what? To them, it might be worth the first round picks that they gave, which if it were my Cowboys, I thought that was too much. But for them, since they typically pick the most random, ridiculous people in the first round to fill positions that they don't even need to fill, it makes sense. Oh, we can just waste, 2 years of first rounds. That at least that's my opinion. I know that they got a third in some other random player, the Jets did, but it kind of made sense for Seattle to make a move since they don't put too much stock into their draft.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, especially when you have one of the highest paid quarterbacks yet you won't help him out with an offensive line, because I've never seen a guy run for his life the way Russell Wilson does every single
Speaking of
game. And
quarterbacks, when we get to Alex Smith,
yeah,
I mean,
boy,
the miraculous comeback that guy's making.
yeah, and
We'll see how he feels
just
when he gets on the field. Maybe he won't feel comfortable. Maybe he will. I mean,
yeah, I think it.
one bad hit and that leg's gone.
Yeah, and I think it'll be quite the adjustment for him, the psychological too,
You know,
and
Michael
taking a
Irvin, he
hit
didn't come
again.
back because if Irvin would have took one bad hit, you know.
Hmm.
But if you love the sport, you love the sport. You're gonna play. I mean, look at Brett Favre. I mean,
That's true.
I played till he was a grandpa. So Drew Brees, Tom Brady,
Yep.
Roethlisberger
Peyton
gets
Manning.
injured every year.
Yep. I mean, it's crazy, but good for him to recover, because man, that was,
And see, it's
I
just
don't know
crazy.
if,
It's crazy to me how quarterbacks can play for 20 years after all the beatings they take, and then linebackers and all them retire at 34 years old. I mean,
yeah.
I would feel like quarterbacks have less of a life than linebackers would because quarterbacks are getting beat up every game,
Yeah.
or their arm would get wore out.
Right. But I mean, it's just crazy how a lot of these guys go till 40 with their arms, because they have to throw it, I'd say about 85% of the game.
I bet
Some.
Patrick Mahomes will be 40 and he'll still be throwing the ball 50 yards off his back foot.
Oh, probably. I wouldn't doubt it, because it's Patrick Mahomes. He's in another league, you know. And
Now, here's the thing. Would you love to see a switch and have Aaron Judge in a football uniform and Patrick Mahomes in a baseball uniform?
um,
I would love to see Mahomes as a pitcher, and I would love to see Aaron Judge as that 6'7" tight end. You know,
yeah, I think they would definitely dominate their positions.
yeah,
That's for sure. Because Mahomes was a pitcher, right?
yes, he threw a no hitter
And
in high
he
school.
was a good one, because didn't he throw a lot of no hitters in
A
high
couple
school?
no hitters in high school.
Yeah. So
And Aaron Judge had
that'd
a
be an
football scholarship, but turned it down.
yeah, that'd be an interesting uh, little scenario, and seeing that happen and play out. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if both those guys were successful at Judge for football and
Well, I
Mahomes
mean,
for
there's a lot of
baseball.
guys. Because I mean, think about it. Tony Gonzalez played basketball in college. And let's not forget
Mhm.
about Mo Alley Cox, who played at VCU, and now I believe it was a tight end for the Colts, right?
Yeah,
I believe so. So
I think so.
it's just, when you think you're good at one sport, you're better at another sport. That's just how it rolls.
Right. But, it's just crazy. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
But you know what else is crazy? Bringing in a new hockey team and having their name be the
The
Krakens.
Krakens. All right, Cracks, you
Release
ready to go?
bracket. And the very first thing I thought of when I saw that, well, two things. Number one was the phrase "release the Kraken," and then number two, I go, it was off Pirates of the Caribbean. And then as articles started coming out throughout the next few days, I guess the person who helped create the Pirates of the Caribbean is like part owner of the Krakens.
Well, there
And
you go.
so I'm just like, well, there you go. And you know what? I have not really watched the NHL hockey at all ever since, I got into it a little bit when the Dallas Stars and the Avalanche squared off for the Stanley Cup. I believe it was like early 2000s, maybe late 90s, early 2000-ish. But you know what? Ever since I've seen this new team and stuff, I'm like, maybe I'll get into hockey and I'll definitely root for this team. Call me the bandwagon fan. I don't care. But you know what? I think it's awesome. And it's
As an
awesome
opposing,
for
as an opposing coach, wouldn't you love to be in the locker room and say, "Let's go crack the Krakens"? I mean, how many
yeah.
coaches aren't going to say that? Seriously.
Or you're the opposing team and you're like, all right, guys, can we just shut the crackheads up?
Now we
I
need the
know.
Supersonics back in Seattle.
Exactly,
Let's get
man.
set.
You know, maybe tomorrow. I mean, you've already got the best safety in all of football that you traded for. You got a new hockey team, and it's, you know, now we just need the Supersonics back in Seattle, and you're good to go.
Yes.
Because, man, I tell you what, hearing the stories about the Supersonics up there and how a lot of people won't even drink Starbucks anymore because of the owner, what he did. The Seattle Supersonics owner was the owner of the Supersonics, and when he shipped them out to Oklahoma City,
Yeah.
people were boycotting Starbucks up there. I know quite a few people who did. And
Yeah.
so it's just, you know, it's a very just sore subject for people up there in Seattle. But, you know, I can never understand why David Stern moved that team because, A, they were successful. They had a lot of people, and it was one of the loudest places, if not the loudest place in the NBA. You know, I mean, it's like getting rid of either Seattle or Arrowhead, you know, and
Yeah.
just moving you guys out, you know.
Exactly.
People could probably relate to it as the Cleveland Browns situation, but you know what? The reason why I bring up the Chiefs or Seattle Seahawks is because those are the two loudest places in the NFL. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So I just don't understand why David Stern did that. And to me, to this day, it still doesn't make sense.
Well, and I would think, didn't they talk about moving Sacramento Kings?
Yeah, they did.
Thought about selling them. I mean, hell,
Yeah.
Seattle can buy them out. You know,
No,
back to the
exactly. You know
Supersonics.
what? There was a little bit of talk that the Kings would actually get bought out and moved up to Seattle, but Kevin Johnson, the mayor of Sacramento, who is also the point guard of the Phoenix Suns, said, no, that's not going to happen, which kudos to him because that saves some jobs up there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it'll be interesting.
Time
But
will tell.
most definitely, I hope they get a team back up there for the NBA.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, that was a good show today. Like we said, Major League Baseball opened up. We're excited it's back. This week we'll have more games, more hopefully surprising teams to talk about. And we'll have more football talk this week as with no preseason games, we're still edging closer to the start of season. And training camp, I believe, starts next week, or maybe it's already
yeah,
started. I can't remember.
it either started yesterday or it's next week.
Yeah, I think
So
it's next week. So we'll have more talk on the NFL coming up as we become about a month away, month and a half away from NFL season starting. So go ahead and like and subscribe to our show. We will have more shows this week. We will post them probably Tuesday and Fridays. So be on the lookout and have a good night. All right.